And welcome in, everybody, to the Last Row Podcast, a fan's perspective on sports. It's Brian here inside the ARM Media Solutions Studios on this Wednesday, June the 3rd, 2026. Hope you are happy, hope you are healthy and well, wherever it is that you are watching and you are listening, whether that is on Apple Podcasts or through Spotify. Thank you so much for being part of the show. We greatly appreciate it. Check us out online. You can do so with our website, www.lastrowpodcast.com. That is where you can find links to all of our sponsors, including I Know a Guy Remodeling. You can also find links there to Forever Finds Thrift, another one of our sponsors. And thank you to everybody that continues to support the program. We do appreciate it. If you are with us on TikTok or Twitter, or X, whatever you'd like to call it now, you can do so on X at last.row, or excuse me, on X at Last Row Podcast. And you can check us out as well on TikTok at last.row.podcast. If you are part of the crew that is in the chat every single night, thank you so much here on TikTok. We look forward to seeing everybody, including Max, Coach Garza, Katina, good evening. We'll see Monty, Steve, good evening. We'll see, I'm sure, all of the usuals here in just a bit. All right, it's game one of the NBA Finals. And here we are. And look, I'll be honest with you. I'm just getting home. Not going to lie. Just getting home from having a business dinner. And wanted to come on and give you kind of initial reactions, gut reactions, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to be completely frank with you. The fact that this is as close of a game as it is, and Jalen Brunson hasn't been a big factor, that's got to play really well for the Knicks right now. That's got to play into the Knicks' hands. Cody, good evening. How are you? So let's look at this here in terms of, right now it's 7:37 to go. You're tied up at 86 here in a TV timeout. Jalen Brunson's got 17 points, and he's 7 of 22 from the field, 1 of 8 from 3. OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns have played big. Anunoby's got 13. Karl Anthony Towns has got 18. Decent night. You're getting huge contributions from Towns. No question about that. Now, off the bench, you've got 13 from Shamet, 2 from Mitchell Robinson, 7 from Alvarado, 6 from McBride. Bridges hasn't done much in the starting lineup. Neither has Josh Hart. Now, the fact, and I'll just be honest with everybody, the fact that Jalen Brunson went down in this game and was clutching at his knee, that's a little bit concerning if I'm the New York Knicks. And it's concerning because you don't know the severity of the injury at this point. Lil Rafa, welcome in. Howard, good evening. Mario, welcome in. Joseph, hello. AP2, welcome in. Craig, good evening. Chris, good evening. You don't know the severity of the injury. You don't know what exactly has happened yet. And I just have to be honest with you. The Knicks are right in this game. If I'm the Spurs, I'm very worried. Because if I look at the Spurs line, Wembanyama's only got 18. Champagne's only got 15. Vassell hasn't done much. Castle's okay. Fox hasn't done anything. Harper's been good. Barnes hasn't done anything. Johnson hasn't done anything, really. Cornette hasn't done anything. The Knicks are shooting 43%, while the Spurs are shooting 38%. The Knicks are 30% from the three. The Spurs are 27%. You look at turnovers. Both teams have 8. So that's a wash, right? Rodolfo, good evening. Benjamin, good evening. Barbara, good evening. So we've got 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go. And right now the Knicks are looking good. The Knicks are in this. The Spurs are in danger right now of losing home court. And let's just call it what it is. The Spurs are being outplayed right now by the Knicks. Gary, good evening. And the Knicks right now look like the better team. San Antonio has struggled tonight offensively. Wembanyama is only 4 of 15. So certainly you could say that Wemby has had a good night overall, statistically, in terms of points, but it's not where you want him to be. Dad, good evening. And, we said from the start, Wemby had to be the difference maker in this series. Wemby had to be big. And look, the Spurs are flopping all over. Let's just call it what it is here. And the Spurs are flopping, and the Knicks are being aggressive. They're driving to the hoop. They're not shying away from contact. And right now, look, the Knicks look like they want game one more. Ken, good evening. I'm a bit surprised right now that the Knicks have played this well despite not having big nights from Brunson, not having big nights. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns has had a good night. I mean, you'll take this from him. But Josh Hart hasn't done much. Mikal Bridges hasn't done much. So, again, I think it's a testament to how good these teams are. Hey, Arturo, good evening. How are you? It's a testament to how good these teams are defensively, number one. Number two, Wembanyama has not played well tonight. I know he's got 18, but he struggled. And on the and I expected that, I guess, from Bill. Good evening. I expected that from Wemby here to start the series because look, he's a young guy, and there's a lot of things that can happen to a young guy the first time in the finals. I mean, look, Michael Jordan lost his first game to the Lakers. And right now, the Knicks are starting to run. 6:34 to go. They're up by 6, 92-86. Now, look, I still say this series is going to go 6. I still think the Spurs are going to outlast them. My concern right now, if I'm the New York Knicks, is Brunson looks good right now. But when the adrenaline wears off later tonight, what is that knee going to do? The fact that he went down clutching at that knee is worrisome to me if I'm the Knicks. Arturo, you bring up a point that we've talked about here for probably the last week on the show, and that's the Knicks had to be physical with Wembanyama. They absolutely had to be physical. And the fact that Wemby is struggling tonight, I think that's a big part of it. I mean, Wemby is 1 of 6 from 3. He's 4 of 15 overall. He's got 8 rebounds. So he's showing up in other ways on the stat sheet. But one area that he's showing up that I know is going to bother Spurs fans, he's got 4 turnovers. And we said when Wemby catches the ball up here, right? Okay, when Wemby catches it up here, okay, you could have guys crashing on him to double him because Wemby tends to put the ball on the ground. Well, when he does that, he's not coordinated yet as he should be in terms of making sure that the feet and making sure that the hands and the body are all going the same motion. So in this instance, it creates an opportunity for steals and for turnovers. So, look, I'm not going to sit here and say that, we've told you everything that you need to know about this series. But what I am going to say is that we've told you since the Western Conference Finals that when Wemby gets the ball up here, okay, up by his head, he always has to go down with it. He's not comfortable right here, right now. He's going to get more comfortable as time goes on. But in this instance, when he puts that ball on the ground, that's your opportunity to, for lack of a better term, take advantage and get some turnovers. And that's exactly what the Knicks are doing. And again, Wemby leads the way right now with the Spurs with 4 turnovers. Not saying that's the difference in the game because, look, both teams have the same amount of turnovers, pretty much. So, again, the Knicks have got 8, the Spurs have got 9. 6 one, half dozen the other, right? But I'm interested to see how this final 6:30 plays out for these two squads because, look, the Spurs are in danger of giving home court back to the Knicks. And again, without having a dog here in the fight, let's be honest, I don't care who wins. But it would be interesting to see the Spurs with their backs against the wall. A fan just on the court. Is there a fan on the court, Arturo? Is that what you're saying? Are you ahead of me on the stream? Yes, they did. I just see that. I mean, okay. I have a question. What is the point of that? What the hell's the point of that? I mean, come on. I mean, sorry, no offense to you guys. I like my money. I'm sure as hell not going to spend premium dollars at an NBA final game and then run onto the court like a dumbass. I'm just not. They're calling both coaches now over to center court. I'm guessing they're going to probably jump ball. So I'm guessing I'm going to do a jump ball at. Nonetheless, to take a selfie. Wembanyama's laughing. I mean, that's just stupid. I'm sorry. It's the damn NBA Finals. Have better security than that. Come on. I mean, listen, the way she tackled him, I would say so. Get on with it. The way she tackled him, absolutely. It'd have been better if she'd have knocked him over. I mean, she could have taken him, in my opinion. So they jump it up. It remains Spurs ball. And maybe that's the reset that the Spurs needed, but not with that 3 right there. Ugh. Horrible shot. Oh, man, Brunson. Beautiful move by Jalen Brunson. I mean, the knee looks good right now. Brunson scored the last 8. And look, when Brunson gets going, he gets on a hot streak. He's as good as there is in the NBA. And I'm sorry, Champagnie can't guard him. Champagnie cannot guard him. They got to put somebody else on him. I mean, she had good form, Arturo. I'm not going to deny it. And I'll say this much. So far from the little bit that I've seen, the officials are letting them play a little bit. And Wemby's trying to flop. And they called the travel. And yeah, the Knicks fans are taking over. And San Antonio fans can't be happy about that. The Knicks fans have traveled well this postseason. I would say from the second round on, they have traveled really, really well. And kudos to the Knicks fans. Kudos to the Knicks fans for doing so. I mean, if New York clamps down defensively, look, they are, with the Tom Thibodeau principles that they have on defense, that they're still running, mind you. They're still running the Thibodeau defense and offensive sets. That's the part of this that nobody's talking about. That's what has got them on this roll here. And what has helped them when they're playing like this, when they're bought in defensively like this. I mean, look at that. That's a beautiful pickpocket there. That's a beautiful pickpocket right there. I mean, you've got a team that's bought in right now. Not saying the Spurs aren't, because they absolutely are. They're in the NBA Finals, for God's sakes. But I guarantee you this, Greg Popovich is not going to be happy losing game one on home court. He's going to let them know. Wemby hits a big three, and they needed that. Down to a 5-point game. 4:48 to go. Wemby needed it. He needed that three, Arturo. You're exactly right. Wemby had to have it. And that was a good shot. It was in motion, in rhythm. Robinson stepped back a little bit. Not a lot he can do. I mean, when a guy's 7'5" and he can shoot threes, I mean, look, we've talked about this for the last better part of a week on this show. If Wembanyama got some post moves, if Victor Wembanyama got some post moves and got into a rhythm of almost like, dropping down to the post right away, and then as the game went on, slowly drifted out to the three, you're talking a deadly combination there. You're really getting guys that are so athletic and so incredibly well. Wembanyama, if he got post moves, he would be absolutely deadly. He would be absolutely deadly. And Christian, I agree with you. My concern for the Knicks is once the adrenaline wears off, my concern is, what does that do to the knee? Does it swell up? Is it stiff? Is there any damage to it? Yeah, I mean, get on with it. I agree with you. Right now, the way he's playing, he's using his height to his opponent's disadvantage because they know they have to guard him full court. Because he's apt to take a shot from three-quarter court. So right now, the Spurs need to tighten up on defense. 4:30 to go. I mean, look, he gets with Tim Duncan. He gets with Duncan in the offseason. I'm telling you guys, he's Akeem Olajuwon 2.0, but can bury a three. He's a mix of Tim Duncan or Akeem Olajuwon, and Dirk Nowitzki. And that's a scary as hell thought for a guy that's as young as he is. Wemby for another three. Corner, missed it. That's not his shot. Wemby's got to be at the top of the key for his three. I mean, that's what I just said, Archo. He would be like a Dirk Nowitzki at that point with Akeem Olajuwon moves. It would be frightening. Nobody in the NBA would be able to guard him. And that's the part of this that I don't necessarily know that they've unlocked yet with him. I don't believe they've unlocked that yet. I don't believe that they've recognized it yet. And look, if he starts getting post moves, if he starts getting good down low offensively, where he's playing with his back to the basket, I mean, you are opening up an incredible weaponry. Right now, it's a 4-point game, 4:04 to go. Missed free throw there by the Spurs. Got to hit your free throws. Okay, what are the Knicks doing right now? Get the ball to Brunson. Brunson right now is your guy. You got to get the ball to Brunson. That's a bad offensive set for the Knicks. Right away, as soon as Wembanyama starts to drive, they bring a help defender. Except right there. And Wemby just utilized his power. Wemby just utilized his power right there. And Karl Anthony Towns is down. The Catman is down. Wemby just took his shoulder and drilled it into him. And an and one. It's not on NBC. It's on ABC, Cody. It's on your ABC affiliate. Three-point game. Or one-point game, excuse me. Yes, the dreaded blackout with ABC and all their affiliates and sister stations. There we go. Brunson with the turnaround jumper misses it. Wemby with the rebound. I will say this much so far regarding this game as well. I think the level of play hasn't been as crisp as either coach would want. Cody, thank you for the heart. Appreciate you. Wembanyama pulls down another board. It's been kind of a sloppy game. I mean, to only have them at, 73, 74, 75 points at the end of the third, that's a little bit unnerving, I guess. But it speaks well to the defense and how well the defense is playing. All right, 2:16 to go, and the Spurs have taken the lead thanks to some free throws. By who else? Victor Wembanyama. We've talked about it right now, and we've said it, that if the Spurs are going to win the title, they're ahead of schedule. We know that, but Wemby's got to be the guy. And look, right now in the second half, he's been the guy. First half, not so good. Second half, much statistically from the field, not great, but he's putting up points. Quietly, Castle's come up with 17. Champagne's got 16. I agree. Get on with it. But you know what? Wemby's such a freak, he's able to reach back with his wingspan. And that's an advantage for the Spurs because of the fact that they're able to get fouls that way. All right. I don't know where everybody's at, so I'm just going to give you a score update here. Jalen with a big three. Yep, Big Bill, you're exactly right. Knicks regain the lead, 1:11 to go. Corner, boom. I think it's the Rays slumping. I'll be honest with you. I don't look. I like Detroit. I like the Tigers, but I just don't think that the Tigers are going to be much. I just don't think it's going to be. I don't think the Tigers are going to be around much longer. Meaning in the race for the division, if you will. All right, I will tell you this. There's 1:11 to go. It's a 4-point lead now for the Knicks. Doctor, nobody has won yet. The game is still going on. What's going on with Chicago? Do you mean the Cubs? Bill? Talking the White Sox? You talking the Bears? You talking the Bulls? Who are you talking about? I'm assuming you're meaning the Cubs. Yeah. The Cubs right now, look, they're in a funk. I mean, there's no better way to describe it, and something has to happen. Something's got to change. And look, you guys know I don't like calling for people's jobs. Well, okay, I do like calling for people's job because it creates good content, but I don't like it when people lose their jobs. I believe Jed Hoyer needs to be let go as the president of the team. I also believe that Dustin Kelly, their hitting coach, needs to go away. And I don't know that they will make those decisions right now. Ooh, man, the Knicks with a big turnover. Brilliant job there by Josh Hart. Look, he pulls it out. He sets up the offense. He wastes time. That's a beautiful play. Beautiful play. I'm going to tell you this. Beep, beep, drive home safely, San Antonio. Brunson with a beautiful shot. Wow. Yeah, Monty, I knew you were going to be in here. I knew you were going to be in here. This is going to seal the deal for the Knicks for Game 1. Oh, my, what an upsetting Game 1. What an upset. The Knicks fans are going crazy in San Antonio. Now, look, it's only one game. It's only one game. That's what I'm going to say. It's only one game. But if you're a Knicks fan right now, my biggest concern right now for the Knicks, and I've said it 3 or 4 times already on the show, my biggest concern for the Knicks is what happens when the adrenaline wears off for Jalen Brunson. 38th 25-point playoff game with the Knicks, second in franchise history behind Patrick Ewing. Look, my concern right now for the Knicks is that Brunson, I'm concerned for Brunson. That's my biggest issue right now. We don't know what or how bad that knee is bothering him after the game. We won't know that. And I'm sure they're going to get treatment. But look, this is exactly what the Knicks needed to do. They needed to come in and punch San Antonio in the mouth. Everybody's got a game plan, right? Until you get punched in the mouth, per Mike Tyson. Well, the Spurs have gotten punched in the mouth here. And kudos to the Knicks for coming in with a really good game plan to look. Let's be honest here. First half of the game, they were pretty physical with Wembanyama. And they got in his head a little bit. Now, look, Wemby's had a good night statistically, but in terms of points. But, yeah, Robinson did a great job. And we said that, Monty. You and I have talked about this on the show previously, that Wembanyama doesn't like physicality, doesn't like contact. And if they start bodying him up, that's going to get into his head a little bit. And when that happens, he tends to get a little frustrated. Doctor says these games are fixed. The series is going to 7, Spurs in 7. I said Spurs in 6 originally. Anthony, good evening. And by the way, Monty, good evening. I didn't say hello to you properly, sir. Anthony, welp. Monty, you're on the same wavelength as always. Hey, did you see who's on the cover of Madden? Oh, were you? I'm sure that was fun. I'm sure that was fun. Nah, there's no Madden jinx. There's no Madden jinx. If anything, there's a McCaskey's jinx and a mayor of Chicago's jinx who happened to let out today on one of the local radio stations while we're in a break here that the last time that they talked to the Bears about building in Chicago was in April. That's just not good. The Madden curse hasn't hit anybody within the last few seasons. You're exactly right. Big Bill is a Thunder fan. I want the Knicks. Yep, I get that. It was very loud, over 15,000 in T-Mobile. Oh, I bet, Arturo. I bet, absolutely. I bet. I think it's going to be a really good series between those two, between the Canes and the Golden Knights. I truly do. I think it's going to be a really good series. And look, right now, if I'm the NHL, I'm loving it because of the fact D-Wizzle, do teams actually win? I like that. I'm a Bulls fan, so I'm in the same area as you are. So welcome in, D-Wizzle. Glad to have you aboard. Make sure you follow the show. We're here every night. Tonight we're just a little bit later due to a business dinner with our good friends over at I Know a Guy Remodeling, who we're going to hear from right now. Folks, as we all know, in the NBA playoffs, there is no hiding any weaknesses. Bad defense exposed. No depth exposed. And trust me, that outdated kitchen or busted up bathroom in your house, yeah, that's getting exposed as well. That's where our friends over at I Know a Guy Remodeling come in. If you need a bathroom refresh, basement remodel, new flooring, kitchen update, new landscaping, these are the people you call when you want the job done right the first time. Think of them as the veteran free agent signing your house desperately needs. Dependable, professional, and clutch when it matters the most. So stop putting off those home projects and make the winning move. You can check out a link to their Facebook page on our website, www.lastrowpodcast.com, because everybody deserves to know a guy. And now you do. I Know a Guy Remodeling. All right. It is a final. Knicks steal Game 1. 105-95. The question now becomes, what happens with Jalen Brunson's knee? And we're going to talk about that. We're going to, look into it and continue on. Now, what is happening here? The Knicks they're trying to they were getting Brunson away from the officials. And I don't know if it was somebody at the scorer's table. Karl Anthony Towns went over that way. Yeah, look, the Knicks right now are on a hot streak. They're on a hot streak. And let's not forget that WWE superstar Danhausen uncursed them against the Cavs, against the Hawks, and they've went on a tear ever since. Second player in franchise history with 30 points in NBA Finals game number 1 with Willis Reed. Jalen Brunson is such a good teammate. Vincent, you say it's going 7? I say 6. Brunson says he'll be all right. Yeah, I mean, look, That's the one thing about the finals that you don't necessarily want to do is you don't want to piss the officials off game one. Because then it's going to be there the whole series. And he's still looking back at the scorer's table. He's an angry man right now. And the Spurs have questions. Wembanyama's walking in, shaking his head into the locker room. Brunson looks, I'm just going to say this right here now. Brunson looks tired. He looks very tired right now. All eyes are on him. Kudos to Brunson, though. Are the Dodgers to blame for work stoppage? No. Absolutely not. What's to blame are the idiotic, greedy owners and idiotic, greedy players. That's what's going to stop the work stoppage. Or that's what's going to happen with the work stoppage. The owners want a salary cap, the players want more money, so on and so forth. Tracy and Spike there for game one. And I'm sorry, the Spurs fans have to stop this color coding crap. It's driving me nuts. No, the Dodgers are smart. The Dodgers are taking their TV revenue and they are putting it to good use by bringing in really good players. And that's what it's supposed to do for you. It's supposed to reinvest in the team, unlike what the Cubs are doing. TikToker, I'm not a fan of it. I find it distracting during the game. That's just me, though. I mean, I suppose I could turn my TV to black and white if I wanted to, but I really don't want to do that either. All right. So, game one reactions. Let's talk about it. Let's dish about it. Let's figure out here what we liked, what we didn't like. You know, if you're for the Knicks, tell me what you liked. If you're for the Spurs, tell me what you didn't like tonight. I will tell you this much. Right now, I think Josh Hart, with his 15 rebounds, was the unsung hero of tonight's game. And I think that with Josh Hart playing that kind of a role tonight, I mean, look, Brunson didn't have a great shooting night. He was 12 of 31. He also didn't have a good night in terms of turnovers. I expect Karl Anthony Towns to be right around the 18, 19 point mark, which is what he's been all playoffs long. OG Anunoby, I didn't expect to have this good of a night tonight. We just said that, Bubba. Yep, 15 rebounds for Josh Hart. He was the difference in tonight's game, in my opinion. Victor Wembanyama was 6 of 21, 26 points, 12 rebounds. Tonight was the Champagny game, or Champagny game, however you say his name, with 16 points and 10 rebounds. You got a double-double out of him. You got a double-double out of Wemby. Castle was the only other starter in double figures. Yeah, Wemby was 6 of 21 from the field. So, look, I think that overall, the Spurs did not look good tonight. Yeah, I know, Monty. Thank you. Thank you for taking me back to my my college broadcasting college course and the phonetic spelling. I do appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, I don't necessarily know, to be completely honest with you, Bubba, if that's define aggressiveness, meaning his ability to drive or just be quicker decisions with the ball? Or do you mean like his physical ability? Well played, sir. Well played. Physical? Yeah, I mean, look, he could step that up. I don't think Wemby likes getting physical with guys. I don't think he likes that physical. Um, I don't think he likes banging down on the post. I just don't think so. So to me, I just think that overall, Wemby needs to. I think Wemby needs to get. He's like a quarterback. He's got to make a decision quicker with the ball. What's he going to do? And whatever he decides, or however he decides to score, whether it's a three, whether it's down on the post, whether it's a shot on, from 15 feet away, whatever. He's gotta make the decision quicker to me. Because if he takes his time, that allows the defense to get set and thus create double teams and make things more difficult on Wembanyama. And we've talked about it, the last two series now. And I'm going to use this as my basketball, okay? When Wemby catches the ball right here, and he catches it like this, okay? He's not comfortable enough yet with his own game to go straight up. He's got to put it down on the deck. And when he does that, that's when he becomes susceptible, at least to me, to turnovers. And I think that's a big part of why they lost tonight. I mean, he led the Spurs in turnovers with 6. So, I think that it was the Knicks' night tonight. I think it was the Knicks' night. And look, I said I wouldn't be shocked if the Knicks won game 1 and took it because of the fact that they're coming in fresh. They've had a chance to rest. More importantly, they've had a chance to study the Spurs. And that's been as big a part, I think, that I've seen Mike Brown, the head coach of the Knicks, where I've seen his game grow, has been their ability to dissect tape and be able to make the Tom Thibodeau adjustments that they need to make. Monty, we've said that for the last 2 series. If Wemby could get post moves, whether it's with Tim Duncan with a hook, whether it's Akeem Olajuwon with the fadeaway in the post, whatever, Patrick Ewing, whoever, I don't care. If he gets any type of post move, he becomes the most dangerous player in the NBA. Bar none. Bar none. Game 2, I think the pendulum swings back to the Spurs. I do. I think Mitch Johnson. Look, the other factor here that we talked about the other night on the show when we previewed this is that I really think having Greg Popovich is having another coach, even though he's the president of basketball ops. I think that having Popovich there, in your practice facility, that you can bounce ideas off of if you're Mitch Johnson. That allows them to make changes on the fly. It's like having Popovich on your bench as an assistant. So I look for the pendulum to swing back to the Spurs and I look for the Spurs to regain home court. And at that point in time, we'll see what happens with game 3. But I look at the fact that you've got a You've got a really good opportunity here if you're San Antonio. Really good opportunity if you're the Spurs to, kind of throw this tape out and say, all right, look, we didn't play well. Or if you're not going to throw the tape out, put the tape on and say, all right, look, we lost by 10. We were as close and we had the lead in the fourth without, Vassell playing well, without Fox playing well. Harper had a good night. Cornette didn't do much. Barnes didn't do anything. Johnson didn't do anything. Bryan didn't do anything. So, Wemby had a good night statistically, but not shooting-wise. And they didn't shoot the ball well. They shot 36% from the field. So you know damn well that they're going to be better next game. The Knicks, on the other hand, shot 41%. And the Spurs shot 26% from the three-point line. Whereas the Knicks shot 31%. So, again, I think you're going to see the pendulum swing back. Again, the other part of this, too, is I wonder how Brunson's knee and ankle are going to be tomorrow morning when he wakes up. When the adrenaline is worn off. I wonder what that ankle's going to do. I wonder how that knee's going to be. Is it going to be stiff? Is it going to be tender? Is that ankle going to want to go to the outside and kind of roll naturally? Those are all questions tomorrow that are going to be brought up. And I'm not saying that's the end-all, be-all for this series, but look, I'll be honest with you guys. I was at dinner. I got notified that Brunson got hurt. And I looked at the gentleman from I Know a Guy Remodeling that I was out to dinner with, and I said, uh-oh. And he said, what? I said, Brunson got hurt. I said, he's clutching his knee. And he said, if Brunson's out, Spurs sweep. And I said, yeah, I agree. I said, and my mind immediately went to Tyrese Halliburton. Without seeing it, I just thought, oh boy, that's not good. That's not good at all. So, look, the Knicks had a great night tonight. They stole game one. That's what they wanted to do. It's what they needed to do. They needed to steal one, and they did. Now, Brunson is greedy. Why get one when we can get two? That's what Brunson's going to think. But the Knicks have to be careful tomorrow with Brunson. Let him rest. Get treatment on the ankle, get treatment on the knee. I know he said at the end of the game there in the post-game interview with Lisa Salters, he's going to be fine. But that could ultimately mean he's got to rest tomorrow. Karl Anthony Towns doesn't have it in him to control the game. No, but I think that's why you saw Mitchell Robinson on him so much. Why you saw him on Wembanyama as much as you did. Because quite honestly, that's the better matchup. Let Karl Anthony Towns play the 4, let Robinson defensively play the 5, and bang into Wembanyama. And I think that's part of the reason why Wemby had such an off night. He doesn't like the physical play. He just doesn't. So, again, look, I think overall, really good game for the Knicks. I think the Spurs, the pendulum, Bubba, to get back to your question, I think that the Spurs win game 2. Yeah, Karl Anthony Towns is not a good at the rim protector. He's just not. I mean, in terms of he's like Nikola Vucevic. So, I think that overall, SG19, I don't think it mattered who was guarding him. You look at his stats, he was 6 of 21. He didn't do anything tonight from the field. It didn't matter who was guarding him. It was like the night that Alex Caruso was fronting him and bodying him up, and Wemby didn't like that. I guarantee you that's what Mike Brown noticed. Wembanyama does not like physicality. He just doesn't. So, I think that overall, you're going to see Wemby, if they continue to be physical with him and body him up, he's going to struggle. And that's an element, and we've talked about this. We talked about it in the Western Conference Finals. That's an element of his game that he's got to get better at. He's got to get more mature about. He's got to be able to deal with the physicality that they're going to bring at him. So we'll see what happens. Look, I'm looking very much forward to seeing how Game 2 on Friday night plays out. And I think Game 2, you're going to see Wembanyama probably be down in the post a little bit more. And Monty, you just said the reason why. Because he relies too much on the three. Look, if you can... Wembanyama is like, and I've said it before, he's like a quarterback. You get him some good early throws and easy throws in the early portion of the game, it kind of gets them rolling, right? It's kind of like the running back that's got to get hit first before he starts kind of feeling it, right? Wembanyama's got to get some good easy baskets first. Get him some easy buckets down on the post first. Then allow the game to come to him. If he's a trailer, on a fast break, if he's a trailer and all of a sudden the Knicks clog the lane, guess what? Wemby's right there for three. Because you know damn well he can shoot it. So let him do that. If you're the Knicks, you want Mitchell Robinson on him the whole night. All night long. Let Robinson body him and guard him. And that will, that's going to be where it ends up. Cody, where's Giannis going? Well, I think Giannis is going out west. I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks are dumb enough to trade him to an Eastern Conference team. So I would look for him probably in Golden State. That's my thought, at least. I see a Jimmy Butler package happening where Giannis gets traded for Butler and some other players and, money is exchanged, so on and so forth. But again, Giannis has dictated to Milwaukee that, look, I want to go here, 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 and here. Those are my four options. Well, you know what, Giannis? Sorry. You don't get to dictate where we're sending you. It's not going to be the Celtics. It's not going to be anybody in the East. If they send him somewhere to the East, they are dumber than they should be. They shouldn't be then running the Bucks because they're stupid then at that point. There is zero chance. If I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, there is no way in hell I am trading him within the Eastern Conference. None. Because then at that point in time, you're going to run into him multiple times during the year. You'd hate to run into him in the playoffs. Now, I doubt that, Cody. Who knows? Anything can happen. Maybe he ends up in Chicago. God, I hope not. Yeah, Monty, I know they're going to stink for the next few years, and that's fine by me. I can't stand the Bucks anyway. Caleb Williams, the Iceman, on the cover of Madden. I'm excited for that. Yeah, look, if you're in Boston, why would you want to get rid of Brown? You wouldn't. Brown is a much better player than Giannis, in my opinion. Giannis is older now. He's not as reliable. He gets injured a lot. Send him somewhere like Sacramento or something. He gives you a list of his 4 teams. Screw that. Who the hell are you to dictate to me where you're going to go? Yes, Monty, they're going to get a coach. I promise you. They're going to get a coach before the season starts. I promise. I'll bet my life savings on it, okay? Which isn't much. So if they don't, I'm not out much. So it's okay. All right, that's going to put a bow on this edition of Doug. You're not wrong. That would help. What would also help is firing Dustin Kelly, their hitting coach. What would also help is firing Jed Hoyer for not making a deal for pitching or calling up Jackson Wiggins or anything to give this team a shot in the arm right now that they need. Because the way they're playing right now, look, they're in fourth place in that division. They were only a half game up last night out of last place. They got too many teams to jump over at this point. And it could ultimately end up costing Craig Counsell his job. It absolutely could cost him his job. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, that's going to put a bow on this edition of the Last Row Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're on TikTok, stick around. We've got the overtime coming up. If you're with us on YouTube Live, thank you so much for joining us there. Make sure you check in with us tomorrow night as Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Great Game 1 between Vegas and Carolina. Game 2, I look forward to having just as much fun as Game number 1. Big thanks to I Know a Guy Remodeling and Forever Finds Thrift for their continued support of the show. And until tomorrow night, when breaking news changes everything, I'll see you in the last row.